Morning, my name is Beau from BEAU'D Not Broken, and I'm up here in beautiful Huntsville, Utah in the United States, and I'm here going to talk to Laura and Chase, and want to thank everybody for watching. Glad to have Dustin on yesterday and talking about addiction issues. We're going to have him on quite a bit, and I think it was a really good show. A lot of things to think about. Anyway. I must confess that I have issues sometimes with scheduling, and so a couple of times I've screwed up on getting up here or getting out here, so I do apologize, and I want to thank you for having me up, really.
Worked out when it was supposed to.
I guess so, huh? Usually this is non-scripted, this is nothing, you know, there's no prompting or anything, it's just how you feel. I normally just kind of open up and say, we'll get to the reason why we're here, but talk to us about who you are and, you know, kind of a highlight of, you know, what's going on and stuff like that, and then we go from there.
Take it away.
Very impromptu.
All right, well, you want me to
I think we're good. No, you can speak to me
okay.
or there, and we probably have to speak up just a little bit, but
okay.
Anyway, we don't have to yell at each other.
All right, Beau, first of all, I'm grateful that you're here, because I'm always grateful when anyone's willing to talk about suicide issues, because it's such an issue in the state. And in June 2014, which was 2 years ago, on the 19th, my daughter, Hannah, completed suicide. She left. She was done. Her heart was broken, her mind was broken, and she died by suicide. And after that happened, we started an organization as a part of our healing process, because we said, we're not going to say what if I had done this and what if I had done that, because what ifs are impossible and they're torture.
Right.
And
right.
so instead of saying what if we had done this, because we had done everything that we knew how, which is what people do.
Right.
Everything you can. And so we said, because of Hannah, because of this experience, we're going to learn and we're going to move forward. And so that became a very powerful motivator for us to start Live Hannah's Hope. So it's Live Hannah's Hope, empowering youth.
Okay.
And Chase, my son, who's had his own struggles, is on the board. He's been a great help and a great support. So that's who we are and what we do, and there's a bunch of things that we do, but
and so suicide, you know, yeah, I've been doing the pull-ups and the push-ups and the, you know, just kind of almost to the point, and we've had so many neat things happen just over social media and stuff like that, and it always comes down to we're all in this, where everybody's in it. It affects every age group. It affects teenagers more, obviously, but it affects everyone. You could be a good parent, you could be a bad parent, you could be, you know, all those things in between. And I think maybe if you would, I mean, tell us a little bit about, you know, the organization and maybe some of the things that you do on a continual basis to help kind of spread the awareness, and what in your mind, if you had a big picture, what would you, you know, would stand up on top of the mountains and, you know, cry out? But
so we have a lot of things on the website, and it's livehannahshope.org.
livehannahshope.org. Okay, I'll post that as well.
Okay. And we have a lot of resources on there, a lot of out-of-the-box resources, because I feel like we did everything inside the box. And Hannah's situation was not unique, although people would think it is, but now in the last 2 years we're talking more and more about concussions. So she had several small concussions. She's very active.
Athlete?
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
Mixed martial artist.
Okay.
And I'll get you a picture of her. Maybe we can post that.
That'd be great.
Okay? And she got in a car accident, and 18 months to the day, her entire personality flipped. I mean, she struggled with anxiety already, but she had overcome very much. I mean, she overcome bullying, and to become the SBO of her 9th grade year, you know, and so, I mean, she was the only girl in her class to be SBO. I mean, this is a girl that knew how to achieve and to overcome difficulties. I mean, when she would fight, she lost once. this girl could fight.
Right.
I mean, she would take down. We talk about a story that we have fun. And I'm going to have Chase tell it in a moment about how they used to fight out here. Right over here, you can't see this, but there's a fire ring over here that the kids come out and they hang out on summer nights.
I'll show it when we get done. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So she's a strong girl, but we went through all the normal things. She wanted antidepressants. Okay, and I think that antidepressants work sometimes, but I'm going to give you some stats that are frightening, okay? And this is according to the CDC. So according to the CDC, their last full review, there were 320 million people in the United States. 320 million. 250 scripts were written for antidepressants. Okay? 400% increase in suicides of 10-year-olds. There's something broken. So I'm looking outside the box. So you come to my website and you're going to find things that are outside the box, but things that are working for other people.
Right.
So we've got to start looking outside. In Utah alone, we only use when I say we, I mean, because I'm very involved in public policy and the legal aspect of it and creating laws and so forth, which was very helpful. And we've got a very supportive legislature. But we only use, like at the public health agencies, evidence-based programs. Now, evidence-based is a term that's created after it goes through a process and proves that at a certain level of accuracy that it's going to work. So that's all we use in Utah. And yet, the number 1 cause of death in Utah, ages 10 to 24, is suicide.
So so you have extended that age of because typically nationally they go from 10 to 18 or 10 to 19, but we're going to 24, 25 as well.
It's because there's 2 different groups that are not involved. So last year, according to the stats of 2013, we had number 1 cause of death in ages 10 to 17 was suicide. Okay. Now we have 2. So now we have from 17 or from 18 to 24 is also the number 1 cause. So, yes. And if we're using nothing but evidence-based programs, that tells me that we have a real gap, that we have a problem. Yeah. So what I want to do is look outside the box. Another thing that we're doing, and it's not quite, I was hoping it would be all set up by today, and it's not quite set up, so the website's not quite set up for this. But I've been inviting people to come and share their stories of resilience, of how they've survived. And they've done, I mean, it's like pulling teeth, but there are a few stories under success stories on the website where people have shared. Chase did that.
That's great.
Yeah, it works, but it's hard to get people to do that. So we're creating another thing called the Hannah Warburton Resilience Award. And what that is we're going to start out with 4 awards for the entire year, and it's going to seniors only, and it can be seniors homeschooling, public school, charter school, private school. I don't care. If they're seniors and they've overcome something to be able to graduate, then they are eligible. They have to send us, and we'll have a group of us, and we'll be reviewing 300 words or less of their story of resilience. Then they have to agree that those stories can be read by other people. They can do it anonymous. Right now, everything that's a story on the website is anonymous. That was not easy to do, but people wanted to be anonymous, even though I think it'd be great if they said, yeah, hey, look, I was once. So we've got that set up, and I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited for the next year.
We need to share that. We'll share more of that, and maybe in another month or 2, we'll come back or whatever, and we'll do another one, because I think that would be that people love to hear those those stories. We have people just posting their own little snippet of I was here, or I lost 2 of my daughters, or I lost this, and this is how I feel. I wanted to go really quickly back to the 18 to 24.
Okay.
What do you think, in your mind, is it, when I think 18 to 24, I think of my boys. I have 2 that are in that, almost 3 that are in that category. One's really lost, meaning, not lost, but he's trying to find himself. He's out of the structured high school and, went to college for a little bit and now is kind of on the path again. But is it the age of discovery that you feel like my son, I mean, openly, my son used to talk about, Dad, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything, and everybody in the world is accomplishing it. They're going on a mission here in Utah, a mission, or they're going to college and they're playing sports, or they're doing whatever, and he got an injury, couldn't go to college, had a scholarship, and so he feels like he's not accomplished. What I hear a lot is, I haven't accomplished anything, I haven't set the world on fire, and maybe that's just one portion of it, but they feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to run out and, you know, catch the world by the tail, you know, the old, you know, that old thing. And I don't know, I think that's important to maybe talk about that age group and what it really is that they feel like they're lacking.
Well, I don't think that this age group, because I'm in the age group, I'm 20, you know, I don't think we're lacking anything. We are kids who think that we need to do more than what we're doing now, but we only realize that we're 20.
Right.
We're young. We're still kids, more or less. We're very young.
Do you
adults.
find kids that don't realize that they're only 20? That seems to be the issue with some of the young men that I see, that they feel like, you know, they are 20, but they've got to
be married. They've got to have a full-time career.
Yes.
They've got to be making $60,000 a year. But they don't. You know, when I was 17, I had decided that I was done living at home. I was that one kid that thought he knew everything. And if you've ever seen that poster that says, "Hey kids, really quickly, just remember, if you know everything, move out." You know, kind of thing. While you still know everything, move out.
Yeah,
I was the one kid that actually acted on that. And I had graduated high school early and moved cross country to Arkansas to work. So I was defying some type of odd.
Right.
Because mostly kids that do that end up coming back.
Right.
I did not defy that odd.
He's
Right.
back. He's back. He lives at home again.
I'm back, but you know,
And that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
I'm sure
But
everybody's happy.
kids think that right after high school, that they're trained in high school and they're trained in college, that you need to get a career going. You need to know what you want to do with your life. You need to know where you need to be, who you're going to marry, how many kids you want, and what you want to paint on your left toenail tomorrow. You know, it's just, they make you plan for everything, but we're young. We shouldn't have to plan that far ahead. You know, my brother, for example, he is 21, he's home from a mission, he's engaged. That's awesome, congratulations. You know, he knows where he wants to go, and that's good for him. He's got his mind on straight. But a lot of kids want to know, but they don't, and that's okay. It's okay to be young and to enjoy being young.
Are we listening to some of this, hopefully? You know, it is. That's what I tell my son, my 21-year-old son. It's okay, son. It's all right. You want to find yourself? You want to, you know, you want to go on some journey or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about me. So what are you telling young men and young women?
Can I say something really quick? You said something just a second ago. You said, okay, that's great, Shay. You've got your head on straight. You've got your head on straight too.
Yes.
Okay, so it's different. You guys are different. Right? So it's not that he has his head on straight. He knows where he wants to go and what he's doing, and he's comfortable with that. But you're different.
Yeah.
Okay, so right there, I think we cued in on the feeling of inadequacy, because saying that, you know, because that was
right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So a lot of success. How long has your foundation been going?
It started up, gosh, so fast after Hannah left, and so it's almost 2 years.
Okay.
And we've done really well with a leader who has been grieving. I mean, sometimes I wonder what in the world I'm doing, and where where I've been successful in other businesses and other endeavors, and known exactly what I want to do. I have not been a whole person, and so I think we've done pretty good, and I get a lot of good feedback, but we have a long ways to go.
But don't you think that it's in a way it's growing for you?
Yes.
You're being able to help people. That's part of the grieving process as well.
I just dawned on me something. He feels guilty because he hasn't done enough. I feel guilty because I haven't done enough. It's a family thing.
Having the perfection.
Yes. Perfectionism. Yeah.
I think one of the main hopes.
Or celebrating. Sorry, not grieving.
You're fine.
Yeah.
One of the main hope of Live Hannah's Hope, the organization, is to be able to make people comfortable to reach out.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we've done that.
Because you're not going to be able to get help or heal properly unless you're able to reach out to at least one person.
Right. How do you one more, and then I'd love the experience. What can you tell people? Because I mean, I can only say so much, and we can all. What in your age group? And that's that age group we're talking about. That 10 to 25. Really right now. What do you tell them? What do you tell somebody that's really that really wants to help, and not seek, but find, and
you have a person that wants to help somebody
yeah,
else?
regular people out there that want to be, they understand it's an issue. They've most likely been affected. What can they do to help? What can they do to help your effort? What can they do for themselves to help? Is it picking up on signs? Is it that and even more?
It's a huge question. Okay, so you can go to the website. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up to volunteer. You can donate. I mean, as much as I hate to ask for money is important.
Right.
And it helps us to do things. And as far as all of that, there's a lot on there that you can read about the questions you're asking. But let me tell you the basic things that have to happen before a person will complete suicide. Okay, they will feel completely like a burden to their family and friends. They feel like a burden. Okay? They have to be brave enough. And they have to have lost all hope. That's the long and short of it. There is no selfishness in there. If I were to...
So on a day-to-day basis, she's kind of giving an overall what needs to happen with the whole aspect and the reality of the environment that we now live in,
right,
with the kids and their loss of hope, their burden, all that kind of stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, what I think you're trying to ask, what can people do with their best friends every single day, or what a family can do every day that can better help? I would say do one of two things. Either A, take a step back, realize what's going on, and come at it with a loving, caring attitude, or B, compliment one person randomly every single day. Because you don't know what's going on. There have been stories about kids who have been bullied but no one knows. Or for example, there was a story I heard once about a kid who was walking home from school with all of his books. Some kids thought he was just going to do a bunch of homework. Some bullies knocked over his books, and a friend came and helped pick up his books and bring all the books to his house. He ended up telling that kid that he was taking all of his books home so he could kill himself, so his parents didn't have to clean out his locker. But because that kid was so nice to him, that he was going to fight and strive to live on. It's just do something nice once a day, random person.
Yeah, and if you have friends that are struggling, please don't say they just want attention. Because if they're talking about suicide in any way, shape, or form, or if they're cutting or self-harming in any way, shape, or form, they need attention. Okay, that one just drives me nuts, to be honest with you. They need attention, and it's scary. It's scary to say, but here's how it works. And I've done it a ton of times, and people actually appreciate it, and it catches them off guard. But I'll say, Bo, I've noticed that you've been feeling sad lately. Have you been depressed a little bit lately? And you might say yes. And if I'm feeling it, I'm saying, have you had thoughts of suicide? And you'll go, yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad you shared that with me. Okay, now where it gets scary is what do you do after that? People are like, oh my gosh, I don't want someone to tell me. What do I do? Well, this is so cool. There is a 1-800 line, which we'll put up here, 1-800 number for suicide prevention. You can call that number with somebody right there. We have a Safe UT app that I was a part of. Yes, I'm so excited. We passed this 2 years ago, 2 sessions ago. We're implementing it now. You can download it, Safe UT, on your Apple or your Android.
Really?
Yes.
So it's available now?
Yes. And
you need to send me all this stuff.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, because we need to put it up a lot every day.
Yeah, and it's wonderful because you can text the line. Okay, so right. So,
well, and people, young people, we all, not of old of us too.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
So now you can do that, but the other thing you can do is just say, there's another thing you can do. Did you have a plan? Do you have a plan? So after you say yes, and some people say no, I don't really have a plan. Okay, so then you just talk with them and you get them to a safe place, and you find out, do you have therapy? You find out if you can help one way or another. The 1-800 line can refer you references. There's references on my website. There's references all over the place. And then if they do have a plan and it's immediate, as much as I don't like this, you walk them to the hospital.
Right.
You walk them to the hospital.
You're watching the Daily Bend on BEAU'D Not Broken, and it never amazes me. This morning was meant to be. This morning was meant to be because this is exactly what needs to be heard. I mean, we've talked to a lot of people, but it's great to talk to someone that has a ton of resources and solutions. And I'm just grateful. I hope there are quite a few people watching, and there's a lot of people that will watch in the future. Will you just really quickly talk about that whole selfish thing? We as humans, when we look at something like that, and we see someone has died that way, we go, oh my God. Well, we don't. I don't. I mean, I've been through a lot of other things in life, but you look at it and some people say, oh my gosh, that's the most selfish thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Maybe talk to that for a second, because you said that's not a good thing, which I agree. And why isn't it good? Why isn't it a good thing?
I have never shared Hannah's note with anybody except for Chase, Dad, and one other person, for a good reason. Right. It's painful to read. But the very thought of anybody being selfish, I mean, just think about taking your own life for a second. It brings horror. We are built to resist dying.
Right.
We fight to live.
Right. We are warriors. We are warriors. We're built-in warriors. Right. We are.
So when somebody is feeling so desperate, and again, let's go over this, they have to feel like a burden to their family. Okay, so I know Hannah felt like a burden because we were doing all this stuff for her, and I never made her feel like a burden. Right. I never went out of my way to say, oh my gosh, you're such a pain in the butt, this is costing so much. No, it's like, let's do this, please do this. No, they are desperate. Nobody wants to, brings in the no hope. So when they don't have any more hope, they go. And Hannah, her note said, I'm worthless. It said, I'm worthless. Now you want to call her selfish?
Right.
Bring it.
Selfless.
Yes.
Yeah, in the sense that I see that. The total antithesis of selfishness is
but
that,
the problem is that you get people, and a lot of times some of the diagnoses that these kids get,
right.
They, especially the personality disorder, so right, mm-hmm. We've got that one, that they have a tendency to sometimes completely withdraw. Let's just take that off the table. Let's scratch that. They tend to seem like they want attention. They're talking to you. They're trying to survive. They are trying to survive, and they're scared to death that everyone thinks they're dumb. Okay? So that's why you get people that self-harm, that are grouping up to self-harm, because they know that they don't judge each other.
Right. Right.
Very destructive.
Right. Because
there's nothing in there that's leading them the right path. They're going down the wrong way. But oh my gosh, no, if someone is making a scene or talking about it, I mean, I've had so many kids talk to me about wanting to leave because mm-hmm. of the pain mm-hmm. and not having answers. And I've talked to so many parents who don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Who say go exercise a little more, which exercise does matter. It does
it
matter.
Does.
Food,
endorphins are good.
Food does matter.
Yeah.
But it's real, and it's not just drama.
Right.
And with Hannah, with the head concussion and post-concussive syndrome, she had headaches constantly. And she had so many friends. It was ridiculous how many friends she had. I mean, there were so many people at the funeral and at the viewing. They had to shut it down. It went 2 hours over, and they had to turn away 2 hours worth of people.
And it started an hour before.
Yes. Okay,
wow.
So she, and inevitably, most of them said, I had no idea. She was always helping me. And yet some of the kids that did know were like, oh, Hannah, you're just faking it. Was she faking? Was she faking it?
Wow.
No.
Wow. You had something you wanted to share.
Yep.
let's see, when it comes to suicide from the suicidal person's aspect, like she was saying, they're not thinking about, oh, this is going to hurt them, and oh well, you know, I don't care. There's so much pain, so much darkness, so much suffering. There are so many things that are absorbing your factual thought process. So many ideas and thoughts that are just flooding into your mind that it's literally like an Internet Explorer with 1,000 tabs open. There are some things that should have been thought about, but it's just not buffering. It's not buffering fast enough. And before it buffers, after so many of those things have loaded and they're all negative, they're going to want to shut the server down. And at that point, it's fight or flight, and they're doing anything in their power to shut it down. But they're not able to process that it could possibly hurt somebody, because they're just trying to shut it down before it destroys them.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's,
That
yeah,
profound.
okay, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're not. We could go for another hour. I mean,
I would love to do a weekly show on this.
I'm having a few. I'm thinking that, yeah, we need to chat, because this whole effort that you do, that just what I picked up with the vets, and then just doing it for regular people, it's become this huge ball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I have personally had people reach out to me, and I have actually helped them through some issues that they've needed to get through. And all it was, you know, yeah, I'm here for you, that kind of thing. So maybe we need to talk about that, because let's talk about it off air. But I think it's one of those things that maybe we do it every week, because, and then it's a topic every week. It's some topic that's appropriate, or, you know, what you guys are doing, maybe events or whatever else.
You know, the reason why we couldn't do this last week was because Chase couldn't be there. It just, you know, see, we didn't know.
Well, glad you're here.
Yeah, what you just contributed was huge.
Yeah.
You should write that down.
I don't even remember
are there any closing thoughts? Any closing thoughts just for today? You know, we could.
Just thank you for what you're doing. This is so valuable and important. Just to talk about it. Hashtag let's talk about it. Hashtag let's talk about it.
Hashtag let's talk about it. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Chase.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate. I could probably just move the motorhome over across the street and be just fine.
Yeah,
you know.
Move into we can put in a horse pasture, or down in the back horse pasture. And you'd be fine.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep watching. Keep talking about it. Keep passing. There are so many people involved, and especially right now, trying to. And it's not even Awareness Month. It should be every day should be awareness. So let's keep this ball rolling. Keep watching. Keep sharing. Keep liking. Doing all those things. And I'll make sure I post everything that we need to post, and we'll post it every day when I do pull-ups or whatever the heck I'm doing. So okay.
On Facebook, I have Live Hannah's Hope Facebook page,
okay.
And so you can go there. I'm on Facebook as Laura Milani Warburton.
Okay.
And I'm married, and I'm happily married.
Yeah, no pictures, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay, but Live Hannah's Hope, Empowering Youth, is on there too, and I would love it if you would go like that, because that's how it works. The more likes you get, the more it can.
That's where all the resources are as well.
Okay.
Well, no, it's not. It's actually on the web page. So
it gets you to the resources.
It can.
Yeah.
And Chase is at
Chase Warburton.
Chase Warburton.
My name.
Okay. He's a stud. He's a stud. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's all about the bend.